Hi there, Can of Beard here. Man, it is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful morning here on the small backyard homestead. And today I'm going to talk about my chicken coop. I'm going to show you how I built it, and I'm going to give you a tour of it. So, let's get our hands dirty. Back in about 2020, when COVID first hit, everybody was thinking and talking about self-sufficiency and being a little more conscious of, growing your own stuff. And myself and apparently many others approached the local city hall about a backyard hen rules and if we could have them or not. And at the time it was a big no, but they put out a mailer due to the amount of people asking about it, and the town overwhelmingly wanted it, so they started a chicken program, the backyard hen program. And I was there on day one signing up for the paperwork to get in on the program, and I am one of 10 people in our town for part of this pilot program. Now, there were a lot of strange rules around exact dimensions and stuff that we had to abide by. It was a little smaller than I would have liked, but we had to abide by the rules that the city was giving us. So after an extensive search online, I finally found a coop that was very close to what I wanted. There was some modifications I wanted to make, but it was at least the right shape and design. So then I did an absolutely horrible sketch to show my uncle what the plan was, and we got started. Okay, I got the cheapest grade wood I could find, and while that saved me money, it did cause some complications with lining things up and having certain things be weirdly twisted, and the door once fit was too snug and all sorts of weird stuff, and we just had to do a lot of compensating. But it all came together regardless. So around this point in the build, I was really starting to hum and haw about insulation. And due to the fact that I live in the northwestern hemisphere, where it does get as bad as around 25, maybe below, during the harshest parts of winter, generally only maybe about -10 or so. But it does get pretty bad sometimes, so we needed insulation. I decided that insulation was the route I had to go. So we put in just some, again, cheapest insulation I could get, this 1-inch styrofoam stuff and some vapor barrier, and then we walled it in with some, again, cheap paneling. At that point, we were pretty much done all we could do in the woodwork shop, and it was time to bring it to my house. And there it sat for about a week until I could get 4 strong people to come help lift it up over a fence in my backyard. In the meantime, I had lots to do in the backyard as far as getting the actual space ready and getting the frame in proper position and such. As you can see, we just put some hardware cloth down and overlapped it, and it sticks out about a foot or something like this. If you dig down here, there's some hardware cloth underneath here, and that'll prevent predators from digging in. And once the coop was in position on the frame, that's when we could really start putting it all together and putting the walls, the pre-assembled walls up and such like that. And due to some very high winds we get sometimes, I've anchored it with 2-foot rebar. By the power of arthritis and Thor's hammer, we smashed that frickin' rebar into the ground. I also used a bit of reclaimed wood from an old bench to use as a bit of trim and some fanciness for the front of the coop itself. Then, as soon as the weather allowed, I started painting it. I used a latex barn paint. It claimed to be VOC free and about as pet friendly as you're gonna get from a hardware store. It took a while, but I finally found a window on the local buy and sell that fit the front door. So I took the door off, back to my uncle's house with it, and we installed the window, brought it back home, fit it in, bing, bang, boom. We got good ventilation in the front. And also finished off the ramp leading up to the chicken door. Speaking of the chicken doors, I'd like to take a moment to thank Run Chicken, who hooked us up with this beautiful chicken door. It has this really cool feature where you can set it for either time or light sensitivity to open when daylight happens and close at nighttime. It's an automatic chicken door. It's kind of amazing. And I will not only link them below, but there's a discount code. I'll pop that up on the screen here, and I'll again put it in the links below. And thank you once again, Run Chicken. So I decided to linoleum the inside of the coop for easy cleaning purposes. We are doing a hemp core deep litter method, so we're just going to kind of keep adding to the litter a bunch of times. That really helps build up some heat during the winter months, as well as it's just it kind of biodegrades itself a little bit. There's a whole bunch of on this topic. I'm not a very good expert on it. If you want more information on deep litter, please go look into it. But I do believe this to be the healthiest, best method for the plan that we're doing. So the final process before I could put the chickens in here was to finish off all of the hardware cloth around the coop. So I bought a whole roll for about $120. It was 50 feet. I had done the math. That was going to be enough with a little bit left over. But then I decided to double up that about 12 foot and 12 foot. So about 24 feet of that right away went to lining the under part of the chicken coop like I had shown earlier. And I forgot to account for that. And as a result, I had to go back out and actually only buy about 14 feet more at the end. So it came out to about 64 feet. But in the end, it'll keep the chickens safer. Nothing bigger than like a beetle can get through this wire. No mice, no rats, no rodents, no nothing. It's also a lot stronger than standard chicken wire because raccoons can break that and they will not get through this. Here we go. There's the finished coop. There's still a few more little things I'm going to be doing, and I'm sure there's going to be adjustments, but I can call this pretty much finished for now. So let me just give you the tour of the outside here real quick. I put some tennis balls on the corners so the sheet metal doesn't kill anyone. We got the nesting box here on the side. Front door with bit tight, but ventilation opens up with a hardware cloth in here so nothing can get in, and a good seal for no drafts around the window sill. And I used a lot of reclaimed wood, as I mentioned earlier, from this old bench I had. It just looks cool. It saved me money on buying some trim. Turns out trim is really, really expensive, and this was free, so I think it looks pretty good too. Let's see here. I did do a Dutch door with some extra locking mechanisms. Everything's got cam beaners on it, so raccoons can't get in. And I did do a Dutch door here so that we can peek in on the chickens. Hey ladies, how y'all doing? So yeah, and then again, we can open this door here and come in. And I put a little rope on the inside because I found out with the Dutch door closed, like this, I couldn't open it from the inside. So I made this string that I can release it from the inside. So if I go in there, I can get it in. There's a locking mechanism right here. Yeah, that looks good. And same for this one here. There's a, as I said, little cam beaner here. Those lock up tight so that even if this thing gets pulled, it ain't opening. So here's the back side. Not a whole lot to show here. And the very back side. Tin roof, all angled towards the back here like this.
And then let's go take a look. Actually, I shouldn't have put this back, but there, let's go take a look inside here at what I've done in here. So we've got the ramp coming down here. We've got them a little dust bath, which they haven't used yet. They've only had it for a couple of days, though. A little food mount and a little chain to hang the water so they don't spill either or make a mess of either. There's the little run under the actual coop itself. They seem to quite like that. We got the automatic chicken door I talked about earlier. That thing's amazing. I'll actually show you some footage right here of the very first time I stayed up last night and I watched them all go in as soon as it got dark. Plenty of time before the door closed, and then the door closed on them. It was super cool to like watch it actually happen. Okay, so now let's take a look inside the actual coop itself, or hen house. Now, we are doing, as I was mentioning earlier, a deep litter method. So this is all hemp core. We've got a little training roosting bar thing back there for them to sort of use. Some of them are using it, some of them are still puddling at night. Food on a frame with some wire on it helps keep them from kicking food, or kicking the hemp and stuff up into their food. And then I've got a little waterer right here. We are going to be upgrading their waters and food feeders eventually, but I need to have these medium ones to keep inside their coop here for the first little bit at any rate. I do have a camera up in the corner here.
And I put one more camera underneath the nesting box. Protects it from rain. That looks down the run. And in the door here, I put a little wedge system so that the litter can pile up, and then I can just remove it when it's time and scoop everything out and put it back in place, and it acts like a dam and allows it to build up.
We did some kind of interesting ventilation, and I'm hoping it's going to be enough. So in between each of these boards on the roof is a slot that's ventilation, and I don't know how well you can see that, but I stuck a chunk of hardware cloth up in there, and so nothing can get in and out. No mice or nothing can get in there. And don't mind this cable here. This is not a permanent fixture. This is just because I'm a paranoid new chicken parent and I want to see my chickens 24 hours a day. I did put a 6-inch hole vent right here in the back corner of the coop itself. And as I said, with the combination of these top vents that are always there year round, this thing here that's year round, and the ability to open up that front door. Oh, hey friends, I better close this door before you guys start running into the yard, because they do that. They will jump out and run around the yard. They're pretty easy to catch so far, but and again, same system here. Do one of these puppies, and then you can lift this up. So I've got a little chain there to hold it up. Nesting boxes, 3 of them. I have them boarded off from the inside for now, because they're not laying eggs. They're too young. They're babies still, and they will just poop in here. So I'm keeping this separate from them for a little bit, and end of summer, in a few months or so, I will open this up for them. As soon as they start getting ready to start doing any nesting type things, I will open this up for them and they can go in there. But the idea is if you don't let them poop in there, they won't, or in a young age, because they'll poop everywhere, then they'll actually use them for nesting boxes rather than getting into habits of pooping in there, because we really don't want that. Well, folks, that's about it for the tour for today. This thing is going to continue to evolve as my chickens will continue to grow, and I'll continue to keep you guys informed on what's going on. So don't forget to like the video if you did indeed like it, and if you really liked it, subscribe if you're not subscribed for some reason already. Make sure you hit that bell for all notifications. That way you get notified when there's a new video out. So right on. Thanks for chilling with me today. I'll see you guys soon.